Dear students, welcome to our science episodes. Today we are going to continue discussing reproduction in plants. In this episode, we are going to discuss asexual reproduction in plants. Some plants can reproduce without the presence of flowers by means of roots, stems, leaves, or buds, which is known as vegetative reproduction. We have two types of vegetative reproduction: natural vegetative reproduction and artificial vegetative reproduction. First, the natural vegetative reproduction. Plants reproduce by vegetative reproduction in many ways, like offshoots, chromes, tubers, and bulbs. And we are going to study vegetative reproduction by tubers. A tuber is a root like sweet potatoes or an underground stem like potatoes. We are going to discuss this activity of vegetative reproduction by tubers. Now cut a tuber of potato into multiple slices, where each slice contains a bud or more. Cultivate these parts and water them regularly. Some buds grow, forming a root system. This is a root system. And a shoot system. This is the shoot system above the ground. After a while, new tubers grow. The second type is the artificial vegetative reproduction. And plants can reproduce artificially in many ways: by cutting, grafting, or tissue culture. This is an example of reproduction by cutting, and this is by grafting, and this is by tissue culture. And we will discuss each one later. Reproduction by cutting. The cut is a part of a stem taken from a plant for the purpose of reproduction. It is more common for the cut to be a branch carrying many buds. From the nearest flower house, get cuts of different plants like grapes, roses, sugar cane. Cultivate them in a pot or a can full of soil and keeping a bud or more above the soil surface. Water the cut regularly. The buds inside the soil grow to form roots, and the buds above the soil surface grow to form the shoot system. These shrubs could be transferred to the soil to grow more efficiently. Now, reproduction by grafting. An individual plant is selected containing more than one bud, known as scion. This is the scion, and these are scions too, to be put on another one known as the stalk. This is the stalk. So the below part is the stalk and the above part is the scion. How we are going to do grafting by attachment? The scion is attached to the stalk and wrapped like in the picture. This, for example, can take place in mango trees. And we have also grafting by the wedge, where the scion is cut in the form of a wedge, pencil shape, and it is inserted into a cleft in the stalk, as in large trees. The scion and the stalk are tied tightly together, where the insert feeds on the juice of the origin, and the arising fruits belong to the scion. This only applies for plants highly similar to each other, like orange and naranj, apples and pears, peaches and apricots. So can you give reason why can't we use grafting with orange and peach? This is because grafting is applicable only for highly similar plants. Did you hear about gluing stem disease? This disease infects bitter orange trees, but not naranj trees. Grafting skin orange on naranj stock in the areas where the disease spreads and not the opposite. So what happens when tying an orange skin to a naranj stalk? The orange skin will feed on the juice of the naranj stalk. The orange skin will grow producing orange fruits. This is the last type of the artificial vegetative reproduction. It's called tissue culture. The tissue is separated from the upper part of the stem and then placed in nutritive medium containing nutrients and hormones. The new plant starts to grow till certain size, and then we will transfer this plant to the soil to grow normally. So tissue culture is a process of multiplying a small part of plant to get many identical parts. Time for questions. Try to guess the scientific term. Artificial vegetative reproduction, where a bud of a plant known as skin is put on another one known as the stalk. This is grafting. Artificial vegetative reproduction, where a branch carrying many buds is cut and cultivated. This is cutting. A process of multiplying a small part of plant to get many identical parts. This is tissue culture. State whether the statement is true or false. Reproduction by tuber happens in orange. This is false. It happens in potatoes or sweet potatoes. A cut could be a branch of stem carrying many buds. True. After grafting, the produced plant is similar to the stalk's plant. False. It is similar to the skin plant. Thank you. Dear students, thank you for watching and see you later in other science episodes.